Are we live now? Are we on? Welcome to Business Bootcamp.
You are live.
Okay, welcome to Business Bootcamp. This is Tips from Elaine's Desk today. Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Elaine Proby here, CEO of Proby's Tax and Accounting. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, we're getting to the countdown for the year end. So I welcome you guys back to Tips from Elaine's Desk, where we have, great information on all you people who have businesses or want to get your business started. And a lot of this stuff can apply to you also as an individual. So today we want to talk about 3-year and business responsibilities, things that you guys should do to make sure that you are in tune for the end of year and be ready for the top of the next year. A lot of times we're so busy running around, shopping and going to Christmas functions and whatever else. But if we have a business too, guys, we have to also keep in mind there are things that we need to make sure that we're doing, and that's on our list so that we can stay in tune and be ready for the coming year. Okay, so 3-year and business responsibility. At the end of the year, there's so many several critical business responsibilities that we want to make sure happens before the year is over. So that, at the end of the year, because once December 31st comes, and if there's something that has to be done for 2022, it's over, right? So we want to make sure we don't miss the deadline. Okay, so thanks for jumping on here, Rod Smith. Thank you so much. Hello, sis. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for jumping in. And Lorna Smith, thank you for the hearts. Yes. We have the Facebook user saying hi. Okay, hello to you too. All right. Let's jump right into this, guys. One of the first point that I want to make today, if you are a business owner and you want to close out the year properly, one of the first thing is your business license. You want to make sure that you check all your business license and make sure that you have all the appropriate licenses according to what it is that you're doing, what type of business you're doing, because some businesses have several different types of licenses. You guys know that you have to get city and state and different type of license that you must have in order for you to operate legally. So you want to check all those licenses and make sure that they are in good standings. Make sure that if there's anyone that needs to be renewed, because a lot of times, we can be operating and not paying attention to this stuff. We could be missing deadlines when it's time to renew a license. So unless someone is really on top of this, if we're so busy running our business, we may not be paying attention to this stuff. So make sure if there's any type of renewal that has to take place, if we miss the day, do it now so you don't go into the next year with something that's expired. And again, based on the type of business, there's so many licenses, city license, health license, whatever it is, according to your business, you know what license you have, and those things, make sure you check them. Okay. If you have a business that you're no longer operating and there's a license there, you may want to terminate that license. Make sure that you close it out so that you're not responsible for paying for it for the next year, up and coming year. So evaluate where you are, evaluate your business status, and make sure that if there's something else you no longer is operating, you no longer need, make sure that you close that out and you don't have that license carrying on from year to year. And next thing you know, you're owing a lot of money on something that you never, ever used. And I get this all the time. A lot of people is like, why should I have to pay? I mean, I never used it. Well, you never close it out. They don't know you're not using it, okay? So go ahead and check your list. See what it is that you have in your office that you have to, in your business repertoire that you're no longer is using. A lot of us maybe form several processes, several type of business, several things, and we find the one that we want to work with, and then the ones we no longer want to work with, you want to make sure that you take care of that and get rid of it. Okay, so this is what you have to do. And if you have, let's say, a self-employed business and you're working from home and you are having employees, sometimes you may have to get, and depending on where you are again, you may have to get a license to operate your business from home. I know some people have cooking businesses and they're allowed to cook from their residence now. So they may have to have a special license for that. Make sure that you have those licenses in place and make sure that they are in good standing. Okay. So that's the first point today, guys. Your business license, pay attention to that stuff, because without it, you're operating illegally. And we don't want to do that. So today, again, 3-year and business responsibilities. You guys hit like and share on this video so everyone can get this information, all free information, so everybody can use this stuff. All right, so let's go into my second point today. And this one right here is super important, super important. It's annual reports. Guys, you have to check and make sure that you file all of your annual reports. For those of you who have a corporation, let's say in the state of California, for instance, for those of you who have a corporation in the state of California or nonprofit or whatever it is, and you have to file your annual reports with the state, right? Secretary of State, you got to go in there and file these reports. And a lot of times that we don't get to filing these reports simply because we don't have it on the calendar and we simply forget. What this does, if you don't file your annual reports and you have, say, a corporation in California, for instance, and you don't file those annual reports, your corporation gets suspended. Right? And then when it's suspended, sometimes we're sitting there, we're operating illegally because we have a suspended corporation. And sometimes we don't find this out until someone looks us up, or we go to a bank and we try and open another bank account, and or we want to do a contract with someone and they look us up and then find out that our corporation is suspended. And it happens so often. You know, so many times I've had clients calling me because they found out that the corporation is suspended, and sometimes been suspended for a few years. And they have no idea this is what happens, or they miss the letters. They miss all of the notifications. So you want to make sure, guys, annual reports are filed. And if you haven't filed your annual report yet for 2022, go ahead and do it now, so you're not into 23 with a report that you had to file in 22, not filed. Okay, so check on all your annual reports. I know city of LA and some of the other cities here in California, you have to file also your city licenses, your business tax license, and you want to make sure that that's done. If it's not, you're going to get a notification because like I know in LA, the next one is going to be due in February for 2023. So if you hadn't done 22, guys, make sure that it's done and filed before you get into 2023. Now you be 2 years behind. So let's check these things before the year's out so we could get them on record. And you don't want to go into 2023 operating with a suspended corporation or any type of suspended license and then find out when it's too late, because now you're in the middle of the of getting maybe some funding from the bank or getting a contract, for instance. And no one is to do business with you if you have a suspended corporation, right? The contract is null and void. It's not even valid if you sign any contract while you are in suspension. Not only that, you could be fined for operating with a suspended corporation while, and doing business. So very important, super important, guys. Again, make sure that this happens, right? So 3-year and business responsibilities we're talking about today. Make sure you hit like and share this video again, right? Free information for you guys. Let's move on to our third point. And this one is very, very important. A lot of people don't do this. I have clients call me all the time and ask me what they should do if you no longer is operating your business and you formed a corporation or something, you're no longer operating it. It didn't get off the ground as you thought. And or once again, you may have done too many. I have people who have formed different LLCs, or maybe they have a corporation and an LLC because they didn't know which one they should do. You want to dissolve. You want to officially dissolve that business. A lot of times we don't do a dissolution form because some people just think they just need to let it sit because they're not using it and it will go away. But you want to officially dissolve it, guys. You want to do that by filing the dissolution paper. Here in California, you file a dissolution paper with the Secretary of State. You want to get that information in so you could dissolve your corporation if you no longer need to use it. What happens here in California, every year you have to pay $800 for having an LLC or a corporation in this state. And if you don't officially dissolve it, guess what? You owe $800 for each one of those years that you have not officially dissolved that entity. And now you can find yourself owing thousands and thousands of dollars because you haven't officially dissolved it. So with dissolutions or withdrawals of your corporation is very seriously important, especially here in California and in some of the other states. You have to do exactly the same thing if you no longer want to use that entity. All right, so maybe you change and you don't longer need your LLC. You no longer wants to be, a corporation, a C corporation or S corporation. Just dissolve it. You can still operate your business as a sole proprietor. Okay. The other thing is, if you were a corporation, let's form in a different state, and now you're a foreign entity doing business, let's say in the state of California now where you reside. And for instance, you no longer need to do business in that state, but you have incorporated. Make sure you file all the necessary documentation so you're no longer responsible to file taxes and to file annual forms and reports in that state and having to pay money when you don't need to. Okay, so and this is simply because we don't take care of business. We don't do paperwork like we should. We don't dissolve stuff that we no longer need. We just think it's just going to go away, sweep it under the rug, and that's it. This is going to be all gone. But your name is still there, your information is still there, and you want to make sure that you close it out. Now, I have clients who believe in closing things out. I have others who say, well, just let it go. But it can also do come back on you. And another thing, seriously important, why you want to dissolve these corporations or any of these entities that you're no longer using. There are people out there who prey on corporations or entities that people form and don't use, or they just let sit. And there's a lot of people who will sell a corporation that's old because someone formed it many years ago, and people do this stuff, right? So that whole identity thing happens with corporations that are sitting around. So you want to dissolve this stuff if you no longer need to use it, because you don't need somebody running around out there operating under a business that you have formed that somehow is still connected to you, and you have no idea what they're doing simply because you left it sitting there and it's wide open. So we'll dissolve it, and that way it's closed. And if someone else uses the name, they have a right to use the name once you're no longer doing business. So you don't have to worry about it, but it's not attached to you anymore. Okay. So dissolutions and withdrawals of your corporation or your LLCs, whatever you have formed, if you are no longer needing it, make sure that happens. Okay. So hi, Norman Strand. Thanks for jumping in here. Hello from Mr. Twin. Hello to you too. Hi, Cognac. Hello, daughter. Hi, mom. All right. Thank you guys for jumping in. We're talking about 3-year-end business responsibilities. I'm going to go back and recap these 3 points. These are things that we have to do while we're out having a good time and getting ready to do the wrap up and all these year-end parties. These are some important matters that will cost you money in the long run. Okay, so first point today, guys, that we're talking about is your business license. All of you guys, you have a business license from somewhere, or licenses. Some of us have a different license for different things that we're doing, a different qualification within your business, depending on the city that you're in, depending on what state you're operating from. These licenses, make sure that they are current, make sure they're valid. This is year end. You want to check on that stuff. And if you have to renew, and let's say you had a renewal date that you already missed, go ahead and renew it now before the year is over, so you're not going into 2023 with something that's expired. And then you have to do a renewal for this year, and then you have to do a renewal for next year. And then every time you have to renew and pay license and fees for anything, we all know what happens. That comes with penalties, right? So let's try to avoid that as much as possible. The longer you take to take care of these things, the more it costs you. Business license, seriously important. Make sure you renew it this year if you haven't already done it, so you can go into the new year with a new one. The second point today, guys, is the annual reports. If you're incorporated, annual reports, specifically state of California and some of the other states, of course, you have to file these annual reports. Here, Secretary of State, you got to file them. They'll penalize you $250 if you haven't filed an annual report for your statement of information. And then that goes up with penalties if you don't. And then it gets worse. Your corporation gets suspended. You're operating illegally. You can't open another bank account. You can't do a contract. It just gets really horrible. And then, of course, just for simply filing an annual report that initially will cost you $25 or maybe $20 if you're a nonprofit. So let's just take care of business, guys, so it doesn't cost us unnecessary monies, right? So annual reports, make sure that's done. If it's not done, do it now. All right. Third point, dissolutions and withdrawals. If you no longer is operating your entity, you form an LLC or some corporation, and you say, you know what, I have lots of calls. Lots of my clients will call me and they ask me what they should do if they are not using the LLC that they formed, because sometimes they have been misinformed when they created these entities. They haven't gotten enough guidance, right? Enough information on whether they should do it or not. So I have a lot of folks that come to me and call because they have these entities that they no longer need because they didn't need to get them in the first place. This is one of the reasons why I always talk to my client. I always interview them. I always see where they are in their business and see what they intend to do with their business and how far they need to go before I even advise them to go ahead and form a corporation. So some people have this stuff and they don't need it now, but dissolve it or withdraw it if it's new, and then you don't have to pay and file these annual forms and reports. You don't have to pay annually. If you're in California, $800 every single year, even if you don't operate, even if you made no money, still have to pay that $800, and it goes up, interest and penalties, if it's late. Okay, so you don't want to incur these unnecessary fees. So go ahead and get rid of it, dissolve it, withdraw it if you no longer need it, and you can always come back around and form it again when the time is right. Okay, once you have your consultation and it's necessary, then you can go ahead and put it back into place. Okay, so there you have it. Those are my 3 points. Hi, Laverne Smith. Hi, sis. Thanks for jumping in. Those are 3 points today, guys. Year in business responsibilities that we need to take care of so that it does not cost us unnecessary fees, unnecessary penalties, unnecessary filing, and unnecessary taxes that we need to pay if we don't take care of these things. Okay. So that is it for the 3 points today on business responsibilities. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday. We will be back on Thursday. And what are we talking about on Thursday? You guys hit like and share on this video. I love it. Hit like and share this video. So on Thursday, December the 22nd, we're going to talk about 3 powerful ways your mindset impacts your business. Okay. 3 powerful ways your mindset impact your business. That's what we'll talk about on Thursday, guys. So this is going to be great. So yes, tune right back in here. Very quick and great information. And one of the other things, thank you guys all that tuned in for the webinar that we had. We had a lot of fun, a lot of great information. You guys, you can still get on elainesdesk.com. And you can go there. You can still sign up if you haven't. The video is on elainesdesk.com. You can go there and you can take a look at the video. You can go back and go over that video. And those of you who haven't, go sign up, put your email address in, and you get a chance to view the video, the free webinar. It's there with tips and things that you need to do before you get your business started, right? So go to elainesdesk.com and check out the video, all right? Very great information there. With that said, you guys, I want you all to have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday afternoon. I'll see you guys back here Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. And with that said, you guys take care of each other and take care of yourself. Thanks. Bye-bye.